Hello and welcome back to the Mindvault Unlocked vlog. So today we're going to be looking at feelings on uncertainty facing sending children back to school following on from the new guidelines. So WhatsApp groups went pinging into overdrive as soon as it was announced that primary schools and nurseries would reopen for some children on the 1st of June. There was outrage, relief, excitement and anxiety. Everyone seemed to have an opinion. Mumsnet founder and CEO Justine Roberts recently said a few parents on Mumsnet who've made the decision to send their child back to school say they felt bruised by the negative responses of family or friends, which seem to be driven by worries about the infection risk. Many people are highly dubious that the youngest children can really be prevented from sharing bugs and carrying them out into the community. And lots of people have picked up on teachers' concerns about whether schools have had enough time to prepare a really safe environment. It seems likely that people's responses are driven by understandable fear and uncertainty, but if you're a parent run ragged by 9 weeks of homeschooling while attempting to hold down a job, another person's judgment is likely to be the last thing that you need. As schools across the region face the daunting prospect of reopening during a pandemic involving a deadly disease that spreads by human to human contact, we have spoken to teachers and parents on their views. One theme that was repeated time and time again in our conversations with parents and teachers was a feeling that there is a lack of information and evidence available. Inevitably, another serious concern repeated by many was just how you get children, and especially young children, to socially distance at schools, even with the reduced class sizes of 15 or less proposed by the government. Everyone we spoke to felt confused as to why, with just 38 school days between the 1st of June and the summer break, there is a need to get children back to school, with some even suggesting it felt like guesswork or an experiment. The situation may be best summed up by Dr. Peter English, Chair of Public Health Medicine Committee at BMA. In a letter published on their website on Wednesday the 20th of May, he wrote, "Parents up and down the UK are asking the same question. Is it safe? The simple answer is, we do not know yet." According to the National Association of Head Teachers, 83% of head teachers currently think an inability to implement appropriate social distancing measures would prevent schools from opening to more pupils. Only 48% report that only 70% of staff were available to attend school, while 25% said less than half their staff were available to attend. Denmark became the first country in Europe to begin reopening schools after a month-long closure, with nursery, kindergartens and primary classes resuming on the 15th of April, although many requested an extra week to adjust to strict physical distancing and health protocols. 2 metres must be maintained in desks in classrooms, arrivals, departures and breaks must be organised in small groups, and hand washing is a must. The government is stating that there is an ambition for all primary school children in England to spend a month back at school before the summer holidays. But to support social distancing, there will be class sizes of no more than 15 pupils, staggered break times and frequent hand washing. The National Education Union rejected the reopening plans as reckless. It's important to note that parents who choose to keep their children at home will not face fines. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, in his televised address on Sunday, said if the level of infection remained low enough, children in reception, Year 1 and Year 6 in primary schools might begin to return from the 1st of June, at the earliest. Further guidance on Monday announced plans to widen this to all primary year groups, including early year settings and childminders, but with strong warnings of delays if insignificant progress is made in tackling the virus. Details set out by the Department for Education show classes will be divided into groups of no more than 15 pupils, and these small groups will not mix with other pupils during the school day. The guidance says pupils should be kept 2 metres apart if possible, but it accepts that young children cannot always be expected to keep that distance apart. There will be staggered breaks and lunchtimes, and different times for starting and finishing the school day. Children will be encouraged to wash their hands often, cleaning of rooms will be more frequent, and schools will be encouraged to use outdoor spaces. But the wearing of masks is not recommended for either pupils or teachers. This follows the pattern of a return of the schools in Denmark, which had used a system of teaching children in small groups which are kept separate from one another, and where there is regular hand washing. Secondary schools and further education colleges are likely to stay closed until September, apart from pupils with exams next year, who will get more help in addition to their current online lessons. Schools and colleges are told to prepare to begin some face-to-face contact with Year 10 and Year 12 pupils who have key exams next year. But Labour's Shadow Education Secretary, Rebecca Long-Bailey, said the government needed to address teachers' concerns, anxiety and confusion. There is no information about how social distancing will work in schools, how teaching and support staff, pupils and parents will be protected from the virus, how small classes will be, and how this can be achieved. So to summarise, I would like to encourage you all to look into the pros and cons of sending your children back to school. And don't be afraid to do what you feel is best. Our children are our entire world, and their well-being and safety is everything. Please leave a comment below for further advice and feedback, and in the meanwhile, peace and love to you all.